Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be BenBotBC. The BC standing for Battle Cruisers, Bunker Contain, whatever you want to say. And in the upper left, it is Eris, the monster Zerg that has been looking particularly good as of late. So we'll see what sort of tricks BenBot is maybe able to bring out against such a tough opponent. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this match, make sure to go ahead, click that like button if you haven't already. You guys are the best at it. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to become a bot, press the join button down below to consider becoming a YouTube member. I don't know if that's a good name for the community or not, but I don't know. It kind of tracks, I guess. And yeah. Let's see here, as we do have Eris going for a third hatchery, also notably a drone scout. But the scout has yet to see anything, so BenBot will be able to get this racks up without any warning for the Zerg. Then we get a bunker going up for BenBot already. The drones are pulled for Eris to set to work on this. And then it looks like they will be able to kill off the SCV, so that is a nice start for the blue Zerg. And we can take a look here and see that BenBot didn't send out a follow-up SCV for a long time. So that's a nice clean shutdown by Eris. I don't believe that Marine has killed any drones, so the only casualty has been that one SCV. A drone does get sectioned off. We see the exceptional logic from Eris, the pathing to ensure that those workers stay alive. Unfortunately, one of them died trying to bail out his comrade. A second drone does perish as quite a few drones are being pulled off the line here as Eris just waits for it to get queens out. Notably, it's not producing any lings to bring an end to this rush quicker. BenBot then goes for a bunker off of creep while the Marines are going to be able to defend that SCV. The other drone is still sectioned off, so that's lost mining time. So between the initial drone pull, the few workers that have died, like the one drone that has continuously been sectioned off from getting where it wants to go, that this has actually done a decent amount of damage for BenBot. Eris also didn't go for the Roach Horn maybe as quick as it could. The investment in 2 queens kind of delayed that, I think, a bit. It does have the 2 gases going up already, and that is a lot of gas that the blue Zerg has. Maybe a little bit too much. So the economics didn't quite work out too well for Eris, as like the fact that it's got 6 drones mining gas, I don't think it's going to have the minerals to potentially produce roaches, because it's also going to want to produce drones. It's building yet another pricey queen, which is also being contained by this bunker. Creep is spreading, so I guess if the bunker dies, it won't be able to be rebuilt. However, the response from Eris hasn't been great this game. It just didn't quite come together. The initial drone pull shut down the bunker. That was good, but then the choice not to make any lings to potentially put an end to this rush sooner, and the choice to delay the Roach Horn really hurt. Yeah, the fact that like the gases were, that there was an extra gas prior to the Roach Horn even being started, it definitely hurt the mineral income, that kind of thing. So the blue Zerg is not in the most comfortable position. It does finally get up some Ravagers and begins bombarding this bunker. 1 SCV, I don't believe, can out-repair 2 Ravagers. However, there is also a tank on the way for BenBot that's going to be looking to join this bunker to reinforce it. That being said, though, there is 3 Ravagers out now, so this bunker is starting to slowly lose HP, despite Bob the SCV's best efforts to repair it up. The Marines aren't really zoning those Ravagers out. Another one actually comes forward. Looks like one Marine wants the smoke with a Ravager. The rest of his friends do decide to join. However, now that bunker is gone, so BenBot is going to want to abandon ship. We see the tank instantly turns around after that, which I'll say is a nice touch by the bot author. I think it's essential BenBot keeps the tank alive. However, it does just show the quality of this Terran bot. There's a lot of bots that will just issue one command to their units, be like, all right, go over there and siege up, and there's nothing more to it. So there's good redundancy there for BenBot. This strategy has been thought through. And yeah, we do have that tank defending these bunkers. Some of the corrosive biles for Eris are actually a little bit off. That roach gets deleted. BenBot has to pull quite a few SCVs to repair this bunker, and this is an exceptional amount of Ravagers, I must say, for Eris. 6. I'm not sure when the last time I saw 6 Ravagers from a bot was, but yeah, look at this. That's almost enough to actually kill the bunker. Some roaches are suiciding in to the siege tanks, but Eris is actually going for counter damage, drops a bunch of corrosive biles, kills the tank, and the counter swing is starting to happen. We do have another tank that's just about out for BenBot. The SCVs have done well keeping the bunker alive for now. 5 corrosive biles is a lot of damage, but I guess it's not quite enough with all these SCVs working to repair. There's now even a medivac to heal up these SCVs. Some Marines do step out to try and push those Ravagers away. And look at that. We even get a tag from Eris saying, enemy expand outside nat 602. These bot authors love their chat tags because on AIarena.net, you can get that data easily, and it can be very helpful for development and kind of understanding how your bot's games are going without clicking on every one. Now, BenBot does have that third base up. I didn't even see it get that sneaky base, but we are looking at a 3-basing Terran against a Zerg that is on 4 bases with a lair morphing. That's quite a delayed lair, and a 5th base on the way. Eris, its drone count was delayed a lot. Well, drone production was delayed a lot, and that reflects in its drone count. So it's not the most comfortable position for the Zerg. However, we can see just the power of Zerg macro with the speed mining. Eris is incredibly efficient. It spreads its workers across as many bases as possible. So, like, it has got a very high income. And, I mean, BenBot's own income is quite nice. We do have the first battle cruiser actually teleporting on in towards the Zerg's main base. Queens are going to try and respond. However, the BC can easily kill off a few queens if they just stand there and fight. Looks like the damage is kind of being spread, but there is another dead queen. The battle cruiser just chilling for now. It does elect to retreat as more queens show up. It maybe could have stayed and fought a little longer. Actually, here on Incorporeal, I always pronounce that one wrong. I apologize. I usually try and avoid having to pronounce that map. I'll have to use like the Google voice to pronounce it. But yeah, I've never actually seen that a battle cruiser isn't safe in the corner of this map. Either that or BenBot just isn't quite getting it fully in the corner. Look at this queen. She's very dedicated. And so this BC may die. It's down to 200 HP. And yeah, this is an unfortunate bug, a feature of the map, if you want to call it. The battle cruiser has enough of that one queen. Unfortunately, she has many sisters to replace it. It does eventually get off cooldown, though, and narrowly escapes. BenBot wants to be real careful about sending in more BCs to this location, though, because they likely will not escape when the Zerg has more damage. As, yeah, a lot less airspace on this map than on other maps. Like, you think like, oh, maybe it can get really far up into the corner, but turns out the distance is limited to there. Now, BenBot does have a Hellion moving around. It's got a nice little Widow Mine blocking a potential expansion of the Zerg. This is maybe BenBot embracing, oh, I don't know, just revenge, I guess, for all the bases that Zergs have blocked with burrowed Zerglings, as we're seeing right now. However, most Terrans, most Protoss are quite good at cleaning up blocked expansions. We'll see if Eris actually handles this. I'm not sure if it does. The previous game that we saw this in, I think it actually was quite effective. BenBot in this game has been able to get up to a nice 84 workers. It does land that extra base. We see those SCVs that were waiting for a location to mine from head out there right away. And yeah, look at that. A tank already set up there. We don't have a planetary morphing yet, but BenBot, it's probably got like 30 seconds till Eris attacks. The blue Zerg is just about maxed out. BenBot is looking to move out and actually get aggressive. And we'll see if it can cancel this hatchery. A battle cruiser actually teleporting on in. I'm not sure that's something we've seen from BenBot before. An offensive battle cruiser teleport in to join up with the Bioforce. That's very neat to see. We've got the Raven doing a good job revealing creep. I'm still quite concerned for BenBot, though. Its army is not good enough to take on this Zerg force. You might say it's Bio versus Roach Hydra. The Bio can probably do okay. It can do okay, but like there's only one Medivac to heal them up. There's no upgrades for the Bio, and then the Zerg just has incredible production to replace. We do have an open door that actually lets some of the Roaches get in. BenBot hasn't taken too much damage. It's taken some pretty good trades so far. Yeah, just as long as it's careful. It was nice that it pulled back away from Eris. And we actually do have a fairly rare situation in which the Red Terran has been able to get up to 200 supply against Eris. That's not something that's so common, as it really does struggle. Now, we do have two battle cruisers teleporting to the other side of the map. We'll see if they're going to be safe and potentially get out or not. I know Queens have enough range to shoot the BCs. Maybe the Hydras don't, but it looks like they definitely do. Queens getting in position to do that. The BCs can shoot the Queens. Such an odd interaction. It's actually nice to see that battle cruisers are getting shots off on the Queens. Otherwise, the previous one was just free pickings, so I guess that changes based on the fact that there is two battle cruisers. Maybe they're nudging each other ever so slightly. Meanwhile, BenBot is out on the map with two Medivacs and a Marauder that's now deceased, attacking a base in the bottom left, looking to cancel that. As the Zerg does move forward, this could be a good trade for Eris. As the Bio is being pushed back, we see that the Zerg grouping is just very powerful. There hasn't really been many Terran Bio bots that have been able to successfully pool up Bio as efficiently as Zerg, and then you generally don't want to because, of course, AoE is a threat, infestors, that kind of thing. Now, the battle cruisers for BenBot are continuing to do some very nice work, as the Zerg has been focused on this attack, maybe trying to save this base. BenBot has just been teleporting its BCs into Eris's main. Drones are forced underground, so they're not mining. That's a big hit to the Zerg economy. We do have Corruptors being made to finally shut this down. However, they are long overdue. We'll see if BenBot actually loses these battle cruisers to the Corruptors or not. I'm not sure where all their teleports are at. Looks like most of them do not have teleport. One gets a Yamato cannon off, but then it dies. Okay, looks like one did teleport out. However, that is going to be two dead BCs, unfortunately. Was it worth it? Probably. I think the losses of Eris definitely speak to that. 27 dead Hydras, 12 dead Queens. I know the BCs killed a decent number of those. BenBot then still being active with its Bio. The Red Terran is getting a 5th base building on location. I was wondering when we were going to get that, as it's very important that the Zerg, or pardon me, that the Terran gets up a 5th base. Looks like the Zerg did just rebuild its spawning pool, so the battle cruisers must have killed that. Did they kill any other production? They killed a hatchery, but I believe that was the one in the bottom left, and that was actually done by the Bio. Now, BenBot's not in a bad position. It's got its late-game army. There's a lot of potential here. Look at this. Eris trying to counter with Neuroparasite, but we get double Yamato Cannon to free their battle cruiser friend, and now this allows the BCs to get the great trades where they just fight, take some damage, and teleport out. However, there's no Yamato Cannon to save that friend, although there was, but it just wasn't in time. So Infestor for a battle cruiser. Still, the trades have been decent for BenBot. The Red Terran bot is heavily bottlenecked on gas right now, as it does have a tank, a planetary, defending against these Hydras. Eris is getting incredibly aggressive. SCVs maybe taking some damage, although I think it was split on the tank that was being repaired. BenBot's building a base in the bottom left. This is looking like one of the better games we've had from BenBot against Eris in quite a while. Now, that being said, Eris's late game is still pretty good and arguably has gotten better as well. So it's not necessarily going to be easy for BenBot just because it's reached that 200 supply mark. It's going to be pretty good. Notably, Eris's 2-2 is actually incredibly delayed in this game. Usually the Zerg has got better or at least even upgrades. In this game, BenBot's heading towards 3-3, and Eris is not there. So the Zerg might actually be better off just chilling for a moment. We do have roaches coming in, hitting this planetary fortress. Well, this would-be planetary fortress. It's just starting to morph. A battlecruiser teleports in to try and save the day. This may have unintended consequences of a dead BC. There's just way too much Zerg there. This is a massive blow to BenBot. Getting a 5th isn't easy. Getting a 6th is incredibly difficult. And so it would have been very nice for the Terran to be able to get that base up and just not have to worry about it, basically. Instead, now the Zerg is going, or the Terran's going to have to rebuild that command center slowly. It has yet to start it, notably. It's building lots of battle cruisers. We do have the Zerg attacking onto a planetary. These are terrible trades, as the tank, the PF, is getting lots of kills, and the planetary still will not go down, it appears. Battle cruiser teleports in. The friends come in as well to save this location. That is a very cool feature of BenBot, the battle cruiser teleport to save a base. Now, we do take a look, though. This is the power of Eris. It's still having to recover from this attack, rebuild SCVs, repair the planetary. It'll want to get more turrets up, get a tank there. While this is going on, creep is pushing in. However, there is a lot of battle cruisers and Vikings, so Eris really will need to rely on these spellcasters, I think. Otherwise, BenBot will just get that high efficiency from the constant skirmishing that the battle cruisers give. Looks like that BC actually gets to safety, which is very nice. And yeah, the trades have been very good for BenBot. It's 2-1 right now for the Terran. Whether that's enough to overcome the high base count that Eris has, and I was kind of pointing it out that there is creep now to BenBot's door, basically. The Zerg has taken all the bases that it wants. It has not taken that location in the upper right. Eris cannot clean out a Widow Mine in this situation, which is just phenomenal for the Terran. And it's a little bug in Eris, or not a bug, I guess, just a lack of a mechanic that BenBot has abused quite rarely. Like, it's very rare that it becomes a problem for Eris that it can't take one of the bases in a game of StarCraft 2. In this game, that could actually matter quite significantly. As we take a look, Eris does have this base. However, notice there's no gases there. That's Xel'Naga being occupied and unoccupied. This one as well, no gases. So a base in the upper right where there actually is gases is quite important. Now, same goes for BenBot. It's still hard locked on 5 bases. No 5th base in sight due to the fact that a Zerg hatchery is parked there. Is there even a command center done, ready to float on over? It doesn't look like it on the building tab, which does mean that not only does BenBot have to clean out that Zerg base or a Zerg base, it's also got to build that command center. However, priority is defending against another big Zerg attack from Eris, and we see BenBot does hold firm. The building armor on the planetary is really helping out. The Vikings doing an excellent job kiting the corruptors while this is going on. This is the beauty of bot games. Eris is cruising at 40,000 APM, BenBot at about 20,000, and it's just constant action. It's impossible to observe. There's battle cruisers, Vikings all over the place. And yeah, what a match this is. The Raven really worth its weight in gold, allowing this creep to be cleaned up, allowing infestors to be seen and killed. They did not retreat. So the Zerg takes a big loss. Now, an auto turret getting thrown down, battle cruisers still skirmishing. They must be off cooldown, I assume anyway, if they're poking this far out. The confidence is real from BenBot, and the trades are just so darn good. We see that Vikings, with their higher range than Corruptors, are basically just able to micro against them for days. And the Corruptors, they're not quite diving on them because they know the Vikings will just retreat endlessly and split out and punish the Corruptors as they've been doing all game. And in StarCraft 2 bot matches, something that's really been clear, and maybe more so every game, is that range is king when it comes to programming units. The units with high range tend to do better as they can kind of exploit the lower range units. Now, we do have BenBot still doing a very good job this game. I'm not sure how many SCVs have died. Looks like it's 51 SCVs dead, which is a rather low number for BenBot. And I think that is an area the author may have been working on. I noticed in a previous game that they had maybe made some changes to prevent workers transferring through danger zones. Maybe that's not true. It was maybe more just of a contained thing. Snipes are going down as ghosts are added into the equation. Corruptors still being punished incredibly heavily, but it's one of those things. Eris needs the Corruptors. You can't deal with battle cruisers without them. And it's just quite difficult. You need the spellcasters to come together with the battle cruisers. BenBot, though, has been weathering the storm. Looks like it might want to clean out the upper right location and claim it for itself. I'm not sure if it'll be able to do that. There is a creep tumor right on the edge. The other tumors have been cleaned up, but sometimes tumors on the edge of bases are problematic as well. So the bases really matter at this point in the game. Both these bots will be starting to mine out. BenBot's natural is gone. Its third is starting. Its third and fourth are basically gone. So it's got one decent base. It is cleaning more creep up at this location. Very notable, though, there's no gas at this base. It's a quirk of the map, and it could really cause problems. We do have more problems for BenBot as Eris comes in with a large attack, more roaches and hydras being committed, but still unable to get this planetary. It's got 64 kills, and there's no swarm host or broodlords in this game, so that's like hydras, that's roaches. The trades have been nice for that planetary. Eris has been close to breaking it, but not quite. I think upgrades may have played a part in this game as well, as notably the Zerg, it's on 2-1 for its flyers. BenBot's been on 3-3 for flyers for ages. We're actually getting 2 command centers building now. I'm not sure where the other one is. Oh, did one get canceled or something? There was 2 on the production tab for a brief moment. Maybe it was a bug or something like that. Anyway, BenBot building this base in the upper right. It's incredibly far away from its other locations, so it might cause its sort of positioning to not be great. However, the Terran's at a point in this game where it can actually just bully the Zerg. It's got so much just supply, basically, and just such mighty battle cruisers that it can keep trading, whereas there's a lot of games in which that the Terran will be afraid to move out for what lurks in the dark, essentially. Look at the beautiful fanning on these Vikings as the Corruptors try and punish them. We just see the really awesome programming from these bot authors. These Vikings are nice for BenBot. The Corruptors, they want to dive, but as soon as they go for one, that single Viking just sort of runs to the hills, flies to the hills. And then the other ones can punish the Corruptors. As we see, they're going after this Viking. He's just running. 3 battle cruisers are there, and this is actually not a bad one for Eris, softening up some of those BCs. The Terran, though, is trying to secure this base in the upper right, and Eris really needs to shut that down. We do have SCVs in transit getting butchered by roaches, battle cruisers fighting hydras, and looks like the BCs do lose that fight. BenBot is poking forward with tanks with a little bit of bio. That base in the upper right may go down. 5 hydras are given the task of trying to kill it. If BenBot can save that location, it would be huge. The Terran is having to rebuild SCVs that it lost. Incomes are dropping. BenBot getting this base could make or break the game. It has yet to morph into a planetary. There's just not enough money, but there's that battle cruiser teleport feature as battle cruisers come in to save the day. BenBot's supply is actually dropping now, though. It cannot afford to replace all these SCVs that are dying and replace the units. So the base is running out of resources, might have finally caught up to the Red Terran. It's still not turning into a planetary, and that anchor is something BenBot desperately needed. So Eris, with the higher base count, may have been able to outtrade its opponent long enough, but there's more factors to this game. The Zerg has got to be running out of gas. In fact, there might actually be no gas income left for Eris at this point, except that base in the bottom left. So the Zerg won't be able to replace too many units. BenBot does still have the battle cruisers, which can potentially get good trades. 5 of them in total. Repairing is more efficient than rebuilding units as well. That base still exists in the upper right. SCVs are being killed. Mules bringing in every resource matters. Look at that. A battle cruiser teleporting in again is so important. The Widow Mine is still there. If BenBot can hold on to this base, it would be phenomenal for it. I must give Eris credit where credit is due, though. It's adjusting its composition. We're seeing lings for the first time in this game after it's starting to run out of gas. That is something that's really nice to see. Not a lot of bots do that, and since it's Eris, it's using the Lings pretty darn well, keeping them active on the map. Auto turrets getting thrown down. BenBot trying to rebuild SCVs at this point in the game. Still not morphing that planetary, unfortunately, and so the Lings are still causing problems. We desperately need to see that, and I fear to look at the Terran's worker loss count at this point in the game. 150. Like, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, it was 50. So it's not been great for BenBot's workers. If this base can turn into a planetary, it might be a victory condition. The Zerg just is unable to build that much anti-air. Look at the Hydras moving for Eris, and now all of a sudden, they're actually just ignoring that battle cruiser for a moment. There must be action going on somewhere else. They were probably trying to group up with those Corruptors, which did successfully slay one of the remaining 5 battle cruisers. These battle cruisers are quickly being upgraded to main characters because they're that important at this point. And these two did just use their teleport, which means they will be vulnerable. Both these bots are being quite aggressive. I can't believe how close this game is. BenBot and Eris really delivering once again. The Zerg's Corruptor count is only 4, 11 Hydras, 2 Infestors, and 6 Queens are the anti-air. This guy's going in. That's very risky. Teleport is on cooldown. It gets grabbed, and that is going to be the end of another battle cruiser. The base in the upper right still being harassed by these Zerglings. More SCVs dying. BenBot, just, if it had a planetary, it might have had this game. Unfortunately, the priority in the bot's code is saying build SCVs, build SCVs. These BCs, they probably want to hide over those turrets, and they could probably use a little bit of a repair at some point. But for now, BenBot just skirmishing. There is a world maybe the Terran can drag this one out long enough that the Zerg entirely runs out of gas, but this battle cruiser is fighting to the bitter end and it goes down. This other one may teleport out, and it does. However, BenBot is down to 85 supply. It can barely replace units. It's actually short on minerals. I wonder why that is. It's because it's been killing all its SCVs. We do have a mule stuck trying to mine. That's tragic. That would be precious minerals for the Terran. And yeah, just BenBot's in a death loop. I don't want to harp on it too much, however, because this is a very niche situation. Even BenBot doesn't play games this long, where in situations like this that often. But turning this base into a planetary definitely would have been a better priority in this game. How you go about that, I do not know. This battle cruiser is probably going to die, and that means there's only 2 left. Eris might struggle to actually clean up BenBot, but it's still got this base, and there is a world now in which it can maybe take the bottom right. BenBot is retreating with its 1 battle cruiser. Corruptors flying over turrets, and that battle cruiser does go down. There's basically nothing left for the Terran. An injured Ghost waiting for a medivac that will never show up. There's 5 Widow Mines out on the map, and look at that. Since the mine died, Eris can secure the base in the upper right, and I believe that is the game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this phenomenal match, click that like button. Leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're watching, yeah, almost 30 minutes of Starcraft bots, you probably enjoy them. So, yeah, I highly recommend subscribing and joining the Discord. If you want to support the bot casts, consider becoming a YouTube member. Join the, just press that join button down below. We do have Eris actually committing on in with its comical amount of Lings because it's broke on gas anyway. And yeah, the Zerg bot really not wasting any time looking to end the game and kill BenBot. This was such a nail-biter. I'm always like, do I cast another BenBot versus Eris game? And the answer should always be yes, because they're always entertaining. And this one was very close. I might even have to request rematches on this map. Okay. Planetary's dying. Yeah, it's quite impressive how efficient Eris is with its attacks. Like, a lot of bots, it would take them like 10 minutes to clean up all these planetaries. Eris is like, nope, get in there and kill them all. Yeah, the SCVs, I guess, just were the biggest problem for BenBot. I think something worth exploring for the bot is maybe some tweaks to that. Little things, maybe like don't transfer SCVs to a base. Try building them exclusively at the base. Like, we saw at the start of the game, Eris' really nice worker pathing to keep those workers safe during the proxy. BenBot doesn't quite have that, I believe. They're more just mad dash and hope they make it. And then just the death spiral. This game is so good. It's like, on one hand, I want to sort of like be like, oh, this could have happened, that could have happened. On the other hand, I'm like, these two bots played a phenomenal game of Starcraft 2, and I don't want to, harp on the authors. That kind of thing. But I do like to point out what someone could have done better. That's been my favorite thing about Starcraft 2 since I've been following the pro scene. And yeah, so going back to 25 minutes, we can see what's BenBot's mineral situation looking like right now. And the answer is BenBot has got 51 SCVs, and it's got plenty of gas. Well, it's got a reasonable amount of gas to still mine. But look at this. We got 2 mineral patches here. I guess we have 1 here for the next minute. So 6 mineral patches total. Make that, counting this base, you get 14. So 28 SCVs is what it needs. So arguably BenBot should not be prioritizing building SCVs. Like, we can see that this base is just about saturated. Like, more are rallying here. Although this guy's going the wrong way. Oh, okay. I don't like to harp on it too much, but like, let's see. Is there SCVs being sent the wrong way from this base? It's the little things add up. And I genuinely believe that this might improve BenBot's sort of success. Because we'll see. Where's this SCV going? This base is technically saturated right now. We got 16 out of 16, so there is SCVs being rallied here en masse. And then we get an SCV about to pop out of the base. And there he goes. Off to a better land. And that, yeah, is just not efficient, unfortunately. So, little things to consider. Again, incredible bots, incredible programming. Well done to both the authors, and we're very lucky to have these great games. Yeah, I certainly cannot do better, that's for sure. And yeah, they're very enjoyable games to watch as well. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.